And 95.9 FM. This is your girl Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am in studio today with rising Ohio State sophomore Caleb Blake. He was so great last week. I invited him to come back in if he had some time for me. You know, these kids be out here busy nowadays, changing the world. So super excited he can get back in the studio to talk some sports with us. Keep in mind, you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can always download the WOVU app in the App Store and listen to us on the go. And you can always listen to us online at WOVU.org. And Caleb, man, what's up? How you doing, sir? What's going on?
Good. Excited to be back. A lot of cool stuff to talk about on the agenda today. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and this is the part in which we say it's the slow period because you got football that's raring to go. You got no basketball anymore. And you got, if you love baseball, it's don't love baseball. It's like this whole slow period. But we always try to give you some of the hottest sports talk in the world out here. Normally it's done by a woman such as myself, but I'll be having my fellas in the huddle with me. So thank you so much for joining us. And let's just go ahead and get into it. So Caleb, man, right now the Indians just came off of a victory 7-2 against the Cardinals. Zach Plesac got the win. Were you able to catch the game because it was a day game?
So yeah, I was unfortunately at work. I did catch something on the radio that was actually funny. I had to go. I like cars downtown, and I had to park a car. And as I got in the car, like Jose Ramirez literally hit a home run at the same time, like as soon as I turned it on. So that was cool. Glad that J Ram is balling out. I don't know how many home runs that is on the year for him, but having a solid season. And then Franmil had a great game. He had a couple bombs today. Good performance from the squad.
Yeah, his bomb was to the home run porch.
Yeah,
and it almost left the park. I think Mark McGuire hit the scoreboard one time at I was going to say at Jacobs Field, but and Cleveland baseball team. Excuse me, I got to make sure I get into that groove. I'm like, I already want to start calling them the Cleveland Guardians.
Right?
Yeah,
Guardians.
I'm like, they're not officially the Guardians yet. They're still the Cleveland baseball team for now. So I think I'm gonna try my best to start getting used to it and say the Guardians. Let's go Guards. I haven't seen John Adams there with his drum set recently.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard him banging his drums. So I don't know what's up with that. So I believe the Indians are 2 games above 500. News came out about Aaron Savale and Justin Bieber both going on a 60-day DL. Is this it, Caleb? Is this it?
I don't want to say that's it because I don't really like just giving up like that. But without Savale and Shane Bieber, it's going to be tough for us to compete for the rest of the year. Especially when we're a couple games back of the wild card right now already. It might be time to get excited about the Guardians, I guess. But hey, at least hopefully they'll be healthy next season, and we can kind of get off on the right foot there with the new name change. So
yeah,
the best.
Right now it looks like they're 9 games behind the White Sox at 50 and 49. So just hovering 1 game above 500. Right now the White Sox are 60 and 41. And for whatever reason, the team performs pretty well against the White Sox. So that's going to be, at times, it's been a favorable matchup this year over the White Sox. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. These are night games, so the day games are kind of tough, especially when you work during the daytime. But I was able to watch it on television. So Zach Plesac looks good out there, which is good for him as he continues to make that start and recovery. But Nick Whitgren.
Ah, God, yeah. No, I saw a lot of that stuff.
It was really hard. These athletes are out there in the public eye. They are not, purposely trying to hurt anyone. They're trying to do their job. And at times they fall short. And it's just very, 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 very sad to see people send them death threats and saying, I'm going to kill your family and things of that nature, and taking it so far. What are your thoughts about what's happening with Nick Whitgren and him going public and showing, hey, these are some of the things that appear in my inbox on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's really sad and terrible to see. I saw the stuff that his wife posted, which is even worse, threatening, someone's family, not even to threaten anybody at all is already just a big, that's not cool. But it's tough to see, especially knowing that a lot of the people that are really throwing these threats out there and hating like this, most people probably never played sports like that, at any at any level, or if they did, I mean, there's a reason that they didn't play at a specific level, you know? And I think when, you know, you kind of like dehumanize like players, like athletes are people too, and that's something
Exactly.
that it's so important like to remember, but a lot of people just like don't like, and I don't understand how that really ends up working out, but you know, thoughts and prayers with him, you know, hopefully him and his family. And you know, hopefully you like to believe that maybe one day like people will finally just start to have common sense and, you know, not do stupid things like this, but it's hard.
I think social media makes it even worse because you feel that there's some ownership over the athlete. You know, they already play on your team, which is great. You play for the Cleveland baseball team. But now I follow you on social media, so I can have a little piece of you now. And I got your attention because you responded back.
And it's even worse because like 90% of the people that, I mean, it's probably even higher than that, but people saying all this stuff like on Twitter or on Instagram, like in DMs and stuff like that, like they would never say it if they saw the person face to face. Like I love seeing those clips, especially of like football players. Like there's a video of Marcus Peters, cornerback for the Ravens. I think he was playing for the Rams at the time though, but there was like a fan heckling him in the stands, and he's like, "You won't meet me outside though," and like the fan just instantly sits down and like shuts up. And it's like, I mean, not that, yeah, like I mean, you're never gonna say anything like that when someone's in your face. So you know, like just relax.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just being taken too far at this point, and people have some serious issues, and also you want attention. Because why else would you be doing this? Why do you care? We love sports, but you know what? I can go to bed at night and keep it moving if my team loses.
Exactly.
There's nothing in me that would ever make me want to go online and sit up here and write something crazy to one of my favorite sports players.
Right. Yeah. It's like I said, I mean, it's so, I don't know how it just continues to get lost that they're just like, these are human beings. And like, especially, it's, you know, as soon as someone does something like wrong, like they would be the first person, like, you know, people that hate and whatnot, they'd be the first person to like congratulate them and be like, oh, like, can I have an autograph? Or like when they do something great, you know? Because I mean, you're going to have, being an athlete, like, especially professional athlete, you're going to have, you know, your great games, you're going to have off games, but like seeing, you know, how people react just based on, I guess, being in the moment, like it's, I don't know, it's hard to understand people's thought process sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, and I hope that these perpetrators and the people who are actually doing this are caught and they are dealt with, you know, within whatever confines of the laws are applicable to that, because that's just taking it too far and overboard. So I want to get the pulse of our younger listeners, and I appreciate having you because you come from a different generation than I do. So your generation excites me. So I'm super excited to know what you thought about the Cleveland baseball team and their name change to the Guardians, because there's a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to this name change. And we talked about it yesterday, but I want to get your perspective and your thoughts about the Cleveland Guardians, your new Cleveland Guardians.
So yeah, I mean, obviously the name change is going to be different, but you know, people that are like upset about it, like they'll get over it. It's not a big deal. Me personally, I kind of like it just because it's a homage to the city with the transportation guardians, you know, downtown across that bridge,
Hope Memorial Bridge.
Yeah, I would cross that every day going like down to Ignatius. So it was yeah. So I mean, I see that every day, and like having that be a part of, you know, the baseball team's name now. I mean, I had no problem with it. The only thing that does kind of suck, I will say, our logo it could use some work, and we kind of look like a minor league team. I want to be honest, but that's my personal opinion, though. There are a lot of people out there that, you know, like it, and there's some people that obviously don't. But I think in like 10 years, no one's going to be saying, "Oh man, like why did they change their names to the Guardians?" Like there's so many teams out there that like you just get over the name. It's not going to be a big deal. So. I don't have a problem with the name change. I think a lot of people will just forget about it soon anyway. So,
yeah, I don't know about that. There are some people who are very unwilling to let this go, and we did a deep dive onto this, you know, yesterday and on Monday about the racial aspects to it. Every time there is progress made by minorities, there's always a white backlash to it, and that's what we're, you know, dealing with now. And it's hard listening to some of these radio talk shows and hear these callers and the made-up narrative of Louis Sokolich and how the team was named after him, and that's completely untrue. And it's like, if people sit up here and repeat a lie enough times, maybe it'll be believable for them. Maybe it'll be, it'll be true. But we're at the point where none of us are owners of the team. It's a private organization, the Dolans. They own the team, and they can do and make whatever changes they deem to fit. So if they choose to rename the name of their team, that is that.
Right.
And what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean, nothing, which is the crazy thing. So that's why I think,
own the team.
That's why I think, there's obviously going to be nothing you can really do about it. Like, people just got to kind of get over it.
So your decisions are going to be either you keep supporting the team or you don't support the team.
Yeah.
And if you don't support the team because of a name change, then you were never a fan anyway.
Yeah, I would say, I don't really think that's, especially, the people of Cleveland are, I think them reflecting, the Guardians, people of Cleveland are hardworking, we're grinding.
I hate
that's
the
why
name. I hate
you hate the Guardians? You hate it?
I hate
What would you rather have?
I like spiders a lot, though I'm deathly afraid of spiders.
Spiders are cool, but, I always just think about the baseball. There's an AAU baseball team called the Cleveland Spiders, and I'm like, we're not that, we're a professional baseball team.
Yeah, but it just seems so lazy and corny to me.
The Guardians?
Yes.
I think it's kind of different. There's not that many people, is there another Guardians name? Any other
they
team?
were showing some hockey team was named Guardians, but nobody cares about that.
Yeah,
I'm just not a fan. To me, it just comes across as really lazy.
I don't think it's that lazy. I think it really reflects the city, and
can we do something else that reflect the city?
I guess spiders could have been a throwback because we were the Spiders before I was way before either of us was born, actually. So I don't know though. I saw something about the Cyclones, maybe Cy Young, or but then you'd have to do the Fellers because Bob Feller. But I don't like that idea. So
no, I don't like it.
I'd much rather be I'd much rather just be the Guardians.
No, I'm still not feeling I don't know what. I didn't give it enough time and thought to think of an alternate name, but I was okay with the Spiders. Nobody really proposed it, and they said that they got over 1,100 names to choose from.
1,100?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the one they came up with.
Okay, well, that from that perspective, I'm sure there's probably a lot more names I would have liked than the Guardians, but I'm really all right with it. I wish, though, I've seen way cooler logos than one we came up with. Yeah, on Twitter, there's so many cool ones.
There's a lot of talented graphic artists who came up with a lot of stuff. I got a picture of a shirt in which, the Guardian dude he got a hat on, but he halfway out of the statue.
I think I've
about
seen
to swing.
I think I've seen
that one looks dope. I'm like, I would definitely buy that.
Because I think that same company actually. They make a bunch of but it's a statue about Cleveland. It embodies Cleveland.
It holds a car.
Well, yeah, transportation. I don't really know too much about all that, but I don't hate it.
But do you love it?
I don't love it either, but I don't think I don't know if there's really anything that I could say I would have loved. There's always going to be you can never pick a perfect name. It's impossible because everything's already out there.
And you know what? I was thinking it's a 2-syllable name as well. So the Cleveland Cavs, but Cavaliers, but we go Cavs.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
and the Guardians is 2 syllables.
That kind of sucks because when you're at the game, you can't say "Let's go."
When you say "Let's go Guards."
I don't like that though.
But normally it's "Let's go Try."
Yeah.
But Let's Go Guard.
I love
that's what's gonna have to be.
I don't like Let's Go Guard.
Exactly. That's why you don't like the name.
But Spiders is the same thing though.
Let's Go Spides.
I don't like that either. I really don't like that. There's no. We just have to come up with a secondary name. I think that's.
What do you do
the
though?
Next person.
Their statues. They wear winged. The winged. Tree things.
That's corny.
And that's the thing. See the whole thing. Let's go cars. That doesn't. That's the thing. They're holding cars, so we got to go by what the whole statue is. And that's the thing. Let's go Guards. That's all. That's gonna be Let's Go Guards.
I think we should
That's it.
We should get 1,100 more names just to figure out what like our chance is going to be because we can't. I don't think we can do Let's Go cards.
They should have did top 10. They should have put top 10 out so the fans
and let the fans vote. That's a great idea.
Into the fan poll. And that way we would have saw and been like, okay, this sounds good. Okay, I can see this. Instead, supposedly they did reach out to ticket holders and stuff like that. But I don't know. But I just felt like it could have been done a little bit better. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a break. And we're going to be talking some more action in a hot second. But you are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Cleveland State University professor.
I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate it. But I'm talking about what you said.
Oh,
I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I like.
I'm in the middle.
Like it. I'm in the middle. You know?
I'm in the middle.
I feel very lukewarm about it.
I hate it. I just can't like get into it. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing.
It is. It's definitely weird. I mean,
being named after some statues, man.
Damn, I just don't know. You know what though? I will say spiders. Like the more I hear people talk about what we should have the spiders, the more it grows on me.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, I mean, we've already forever.
All right.
That's gonna be
so this segment we'll do football, and then probably I think we got enough. The whole show.
Wait, what was it?
I said I think we got enough.
Okay.
Unless how burning is your desire to talk about Simone Biles?
I wouldn't say it's like burning, but
let's come back and talk about her next.
Okay, that's fine.
Since the Olympics is going on.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that.
Cool. Definitely.
You found it okay today on your own?
Oh yeah. Well, I was also like already downtown, so.
Oh yeah. So you just came right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have loved to cover that game today, but
you know, it would have been awesome.
I had to work.
You know, being at work during the day, because I would have watched the game. I was like thinking about it. I'm like, man. But that's also the reason why it was so packed downtown. I was like, cool.
Oh, packed downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
why do St. Louis fans travel?
Because it's cheap here.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle.
That's why, like, New York and Boston fans love coming here because it's cheap compared to where they at, and Chicago too. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am in studio with rising Ohio State sophomore Caleb Blake is in the house. We giving us that youthful expertise and knowledge, because sometimes we forget how old we are and we just think of things under our purview, but there's another generation out there who has thoughts, feelings, and thinkings, and we want to get those out and have them share those. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I extra love you because you are at Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I told you, I get so disappointed when I ask kids, well, where are you going to school at? And like they don't say Ohio State, and it crushes me.
Oh, I mean, why would you not want to go to the best school in the world?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, go Bucks always.
That.
Go Bucks always. I always rep the 614. Love Columbus.
Well, like, what do you mean that there's another college out here that you would want to go to besides Ohio State? Yeah, like, I just be really perplexed and confused when somebody say they're going to another college other than Ohio State. Yeah. So
I mean, it's even worse when they go to that school up north. And can't say. I don't even want to say the name. It's just that team up north.
And it's funny because we didn't start calling it, because who started calling it the team up north? Was it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it might have been Tressel, but when we was in school, we just called it UM.
It's literally just like, since I've been an Ohio State fan, I mean, obviously just like growing up, it's just, that's that team up north. Like, we don't say it. It's like
TCU.
It's like, I guess I won't say it for any like Harry Potter like fans out there, but like, the he who shall not be named, like, you don't say his name.
No, I never seen Harry Potter before.
See, I read the books.
I know.
Yeah.
When Harry Potter came out, I was in college, so at that time I was like reading.
Like I can't say I'm doing a whole lot of reading right now other than school, so I respect that.
Yeah, but I had never even heard of it until I was a few years out. I was getting my master's at that time, and I'm like, Harry, who? This is the hottest thing, So. Yeah, but appreciate you being here and super excited for you. One day looking forward to you to being a Buckeye alumnus, part of
Yes.
being that Buckeye family. But yesterday we touched on this topic a little bit about the Simone Biles, and more information came out today that she withdrew from the all around, so she took herself out of consideration for that. So there's still an opportunity for her to do individual, but there's a lot of people talking just a lot of smack and talking so negatively about Simone Biles and her decision to pull out of the contest in which she's in. What are your thoughts about that before I give you mine?
Well, I'm glad to see a lot of athletes out there sticking up for her, even though, because I mean, just people in general should be sticking up for her. I mean, because she should always be able to do what's in her best interest. And, if your mental health is at stake or your health in general at all, you don't feel comfortable going out there and like giving your 100% your best performance, then, you should be able to, like she's not superhuman. She doesn't have to always live up to it. And the standard is so high because she's so great. Like she is the GOAT. So I think that's undisputed. Like when you talk about, all the things that she's accomplished at, I think she's 24. And
24 years old.
I feel like undisputed GOAT of gymnastics. Like no one, I don't really even know a whole lot about gymnastics, but I can tell you I know about Simone Biles because she's just that good.
Yeah.
So I think it's great to see a lot of athletes sticking up for her. Like Michael Phelps came out with a few comments today. I know some former gymnasts, I believe like Allie Raisman said a few things.
Today on the Today Show, I saw her, and one of the things that she was talking about, if you lose yourself in the air and you don't know where you're at in the air, you could seriously hurt yourself.
Oh yeah, that's got to be a terrifying. I can't even imagine that. Like I don't even go on the trampoline to do flips, so being like in midair, I mean, you could. Yeah, I can't imagine how scary that must be.
Yeah, and with her skill set, she's out there doing things that nobody ever did. And a great point that DJ Chris Styles mentioned was that, she has moves named after her, and they've placed limitations on her as to, what she could be done and how she'd be scored. So it's like they won't even allow her to be great. And imagine at 24 years old, somebody's calling you to go at something. That is a lot of pressure to be put on the 24-year-old. And one of the things I talked about was human development yesterday, and I took a human development class in my master's. And you are not a fully grown, functioning adult until you're in your late 20s, early 30s. So as a 24-year-old, everything that is expected out of you, it has to be a gold medal. That's a lot of pressure. And, everybody, I know that, it's positive pressure from everybody here at home. But to think that every time you perform, you have to have a gold medal, you can't ever be off, you can't never miss a landing. That's just a lot of pressure for a young woman.
Oh, yeah.
And I would never want to be in her shoes. I've been an athlete, and that I played in two state championship games and state semifinal games. I've coached. I've been on in lacrosse, regional winning teams. It's a lot of pressure to go out there and perform. Even if you're not out there on your own as an individual, it is a lot of pressure out there because everybody has to work together. And if you've never been an athlete, and you've never played and been at a high level and had to be on because you were actually going to go for like a title or championship, people just really need to shut up and stop talking. And especially gymnastics. I heard that the balance beam is the size is as thick as our cell phones.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like this is the balance beam. So you put your cell phone out, and that's the balance beam that they got to balance on. And you see how it barely fit their feet, even though these are the tiniest people.
I mean, I don't even think I could put my foot on my phone. So that doesn't even make sense.
Exactly. And this is not a male event, but just to hear how negative people are because she quit on her team, I'm just glad that your generation is speaking out so much about mental health. You look at what Naomi Osaka did, and you guys are out there talking about it. And I feel that with you guys being forward, that'll help the next generation. I had a family member who committed suicide, and you always wonder, like, what can you do? What could you have done? How can you help this person? How could you have prevented this and stopped it? And mental health is such a stigma, especially in the Black community, and we don't want to talk about it. And particularly men don't want to go get help. And we have a lot of generational trauma, and it's something that we don't talk about. We don't want to deal with. So I think it's a wonderful thing when, even though they're female, Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka are like, I'm having issues with mental health. I'm glad Michael Phelps came out and said something, but there's a difference between white people people and Black people in mental health. Black people are never allowed to be mentally ill. When a Black person commits a crime, they're never allowed to have that. They're just inherently bad, instead of, there's a possibility that they have some imbalance in their brain that had them commit a crime. But I'm just really happy that these bigwig athletes are behind her and they understand how important mental health is, and that hopefully your generation will help change that and help drop some of those stigmas that we have.
Yeah, no, I think in the past few years there's been a lot of really good, just pushing towards making sure that everybody's, doing okay, just looking out for the betterment of other people and trying to strengthen everyone's mental health. I remember one of the first few athletes that came out, I'm obviously a big basketball guy, like Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan. I remember they came out at the same time, just talking about mental health. And how they struggled. DeMar DeRozan had a really good piece on ESPN. It was awesome. I wish I could remember specific quotes, but it was a few years ago. But I think that's, seeing big athletes like that, because it's important to remember that, when you see someone that you can idolize or, you look up to as a kid, seeing that, it makes it a lot easier to understand that, not everyone's perfect and you don't always have to be. A part of being, growing up and becoming older is kind of making mistakes. Not, to say that making mistakes is all right, but it just happens. It's part of life, and the hits keep coming. But it's about how you bounce back. And, I'm really glad that now we're kind of, as a society, getting towards a place where, it's okay to realize that, you don't have to always be perfect and always be okay, all of the time. And it's okay to, take a step back and, just get yourself right, get your mind right, and, be in a good spot.
Did Kevin Love ever address why he does the burner accounts?
Does he have a burner account?
Oh my! You didn't hear about Kevin Love? Not Kevin Love. I mean Kevin Durant. Yes, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I don't know why KD has the burner accounts, but they're so funny. I love going out and just seeing some of the stuff that, or his old tweets. Have you seen his old tweets?
No, because I'm just disappointed in him having a burner account and doing everything he was doing.
I will say though,
disappointed.
KD kind of owns Twitter. The way that he, sometimes is he a little, too much or but he is, for as much criticism as he gets, and also being one of the greatest basketball players to ever grace the earth. Sometimes a lot of the hate he gets, he can say, I'm not gonna say he can say whatever he wants, because some of the stuff he says is a little why can't we all just be friends? But
that's what he said.
No. I was just saying that hypothetically, why can't everyone just get along on Twitter? That'll never happen. So, but no, he does have some funny stuff on Twitter. I can't lie.
Burner accounts, man. You can't be out here having burner accounts like that, man. Just stand by what you say.
I think now he's gotten better though. At least now he tweets from his real account.
Oh my God.
Or he'll call people out.
Well, he in charge of his own legacy, and when he went to Golden State, that point, because now everybody, they Photoshop. So when they lost to France,
My Next Chapter.
Yeah, when they lost to France, he was in the beret and the French.
Oh, that means
French jersey. Yeah, man.
I saw one of those with Nigeria after we lost the exhibition game. Any team that is favored to win and loses, you could put that on Kevin Durant's shirt and just say My Next Chapter.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair.
So what do you think about them beating up Iran by 54 points?
So I didn't watch the game because it was, wasn't it 12?
Yeah, they're all an insane time.
Good. We bounced back, but I feel like
they still trash.
Yeah. Aren't we supposed to do that? Aren't we supposed to win by 50? We've been winning by 50 forever.
Yeah, but we ain't winning that gold medal, so I'm just gonna.
You don't think so?
Put that out. No.
You just gotta have we're
6-3.
We are 6-3, which is probably the worst. That's terrible.
We had to make it to the gold medal game. Exactly.
But also, okay, so I will say this though, in the USA basketball team's defense, the talent around the world has gotten a lot better, because the other teams that are there, Australia, is a lot better. They have a lot of really nice young players.
They play against them in the league already, so they know about it.
Right, that's true. But I think that a lot of countries are made up of guys that are better oriented for team basketball, and our team is really just a lot of one-on-one scorers who also have just got out of the NBA playoffs, and I feel like a lot of them, they can say they're focused on the Olympics like all they want, but I mean, those guys definitely want to just be at home. Like even if it was working out at home versus, going out, being in like real competitive games and things like that. So I don't know. I think we'll be all right though. I think we'll be all right.
Just got a tweet for ESPN that says Devin Booker says he has no hard feelings against Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday.
Oh, no way.
Because they all playing on the Olympic team together. The memories are there, but it's nothing personal between us. We lost and that's it. And I'm man enough to accept that and move on. So there's no hate towards Drew or K-Mid.
I mean, respect the book for saying that, but it definitely he'll remember that when they play him next season.
Yeah.
He'll definitely remember when they play the Bucks next season.
Yeah, so. And he's right. It is what it is. All people can do is move on. People won, and all he can do is try to win next time. That's where we're at. So
I hope he gets a ring. I really hope he gets a ring.
Who, Devin Booker?
I really hope he gets a ring.
Whatever.
I said this last week. Like I'm a huge Devin Booker fan. Like I hope that he deserves it.
Oh yeah, because the game when you came on Tuesday and the game happened that night.
It was game 6. I said the Bucks would win though.
I did too.
Yeah, no, we were both right. We were right on that.
Yeah.
I did say though that the Suns were in my heart, but I knew they'd lose. So,
there was. I mean, you never know. I mean, but great teams, they would have staged that comeback and had a game 7, and the whole series could have been flopped, and Milwaukee could have lost that if they've been able to get back. But like Devin Booker said, it is what it is. So we are going to take a quick break. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. I just played 2 commercials at once. Yeah, man. Kevin Durant and the burner.
Oh no, the burner accounts are funny. I can't even lie.
That was a commercial.
Calling all parents and guardians.
No, you did.
Oh, okay.
One commercial was 4 seconds.
Yeah, no, the burner.
I didn't realize it.
Burner account's awesome.
I just think that was so funny, man.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think it's funny too. Just because, you're a top 5 basketball player in the league right now, and you have to respond to everybody on Twitter. Like, I get it, but I don't know.
All right, so when we come back, talk football.
Cool. Did you see the Browns' new jerseys?
Yeah, the white ones. I like them a lot too.
I love them.
I like them.
I'm always a fan of throwback uniforms. So,
of what?
Like throwback uniforms.
Okay,
I just think they're just so crisp.
September 11th at Edgewater Park and September 25th at Forest Hills Park.
Crap.
Volunteers are welcome. For more information, call 216-361-9146.
I think people can still see me.
216-361-9146. Or send an email to info@100blackmencle.org. That is
Cole Beasley had came out with a response. He's like anti-vax.
Oh, did he say something?
Yeah, it's a long response, but pretty much saying that that the vaccine won't prevent COVID. We know that. You can still get COVID if you have a vaccine. It's just not going to be as bad.
Yeah.
I swear, people are dumb and don't know a damn thing about science.
Yeah.
Just stop. All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with Mr. Caleb Blake, Ohio State student, up in the studio with me, having a good time. So, Caleb, guess what?
What's up?
It is officially the start of the football season, and Browns training camp has started today.
That's always a great thing. Thank God football is back because, like you said earlier, this is the worst time.
Hey, what are you trying to say? I didn't say this was the worst time. I said for some people who don't love baseball.
For myself, no disrespect to all the baseball. There are definitely some baseball people out there. There's nothing wrong with baseball. I'm getting into it now, but as a kid, I remember I would be 7 or 8 years old, and I wasn't into baseball at all. And I just watching SportsCenter, the top 10. Is just so much more demoralizing because it's nothing that you want to see because it's just baseball. But now I'm getting there though. I'm getting there.
I fell in love with baseball as a kid. I fell in love with the environment and the fun that we had because it was a party. Even though I didn't really understand what was going on, like we would go to municipal, which would be empty, and it'd be like high school kids there, like encouraging us to do the wave and stuff like that. And I totally loved that. But I hate it because we would take the rapid down and we would walk, and it seemed like the furthest walk of like all time.
It feels like it takes forever.
Like literally. And it is kind of a long walk from Tower City, but you did what you had to do. And they also had great giveaways. So I associated going to the Indians game with getting something.
Getting free stuff,
and one time they gave us Louisville Slugger bats, which I had for forever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then also they had gave away these blue gloves. They were leather gloves actually, and unfortunately they got thrown out. We had a house fire, and some of my belongings got thrown out, and that was part of it. But I'm like, that's the best giveaway: a real leather glove and a Louisville Slugger bat. Like, those aren't cheap.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I've definitely had some cool like jersey giveaways. I went to the Fernando Reyes one.
Oh yeah,
last
that
weekend.
One.
That was
the white
cool.
one.
Oh, it was a cool one.
Yeah, you should let me know you was there. I was at the game.
That's on me. That one's on me.
I would have came to visit you.
It was just because of my sister's birthday.
Yeah, that's right. She did say I was going. Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, it was.
Did we win or no?
No,
we didn't win.
We lost.
Yeah,
the Rays. Seeing, oh god, who hit a home run? He's like Wander Franco.
Oh yeah, Wander.
Name to look out for. He's going to be insane in a couple of years, but
Unfortunately, we got the win against Tampa Bay on Sunday because it was looking bad.
Oh yeah.
And so far, we split with St. Louis. So we won today, lost yesterday. So that's a good thing, getting that split. But, unfortunately, the Indians are out of it. So not the Indians, excuse me, the Cleveland baseball team. They are out of it. So that's that.
Yeah.
And we got to move on. But football is here, man. So what are some of the things that you are looking forward to coming out of this training camp?
Hopefully, look, as long as the defense is going to be all right, then I'm for whatever. I have enough trust in Baker. I really think he's going to have a great year. I think he's going to shut a lot of people up, and I think he's going to have a great season. OBJ is looking healthy right now. I think Odell's going to have a great bounce back season. I mean, obviously, I sound like classic Browns fan. Like everything is going to go correct and exactly how we want it to. But this time is different because we went 10-6, 11-5 last year.
11-5.
11-5. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that can say they did that last year.
They almost beat the Chiefs too.
Yeah, I mean, if we realistically, I mean, I guess you can't, Chad Henne. That's a tough one to
swallow.
That's a tough one to swallow. Yeah, but we were in that game. Like, I think we can compete with the Chiefs this year. It's gonna be interesting to see. I know we played them week 1, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's week 1.
Yes.
So that's going to be an interesting test because we typically don't show up in week 1. But as long as we compete in that game, and the defense is looking sound out of training camp, I'm all for this season, especially the new white unis.
I totally believe that they can win this game.
The Chiefs game?
Yeah,
I think we can win. Absolutely.
They almost won on the road in their last game of the season. If it was not for a stupid rule, because that was a touchdown.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if it wasn't for a stupid rule. They would have won that game because they would have been 7 points. Also, we missed a field goal. So that's something as well, our special teams. So that is 10 points essentially off the board that you should have had, but if not 4. So, Kansas City has to prepare for us as well. And you didn't have Odell in that game, which adds another dynamic. Odell is healthy. Right. I saw, Baker out there passing them today, and they looked good. It looks like the chemistry is there. And Odell had to sit there and watch that team do this playoff run without him. He had to sit there and watch this team be successful, have the first success that they've had in over 18 years without him. Right. He's going to be hungry. He's ready. He had already kind of established himself as a leader, a vocal leader on this team outside of Baker Mayfield. And I think Kansas City needs to prepare for us as well. It wasn't that easy playing us. And we had a terrible defense. We've revamped our defense. Our defense is all new, but you got some great free agents. You had made some great draft picks. JOK, I'm looking at you for having COVID. But you've revamped this defense so they can get those critical stops. And Chad Henne, who I didn't even know was in the league still until they called his name after he converted those 4th down conversions, you're going to have a defense that should be able to get to a quarterback, take angles, and be able to stop things like this from happening to get you where you want to be. So I think that Kansas City, they have to recognize that the Browns are good too. This is a different team, and it's going to be even more different with Odell and a completely different defense.
Right.
That's going to be hungry. They're going to be trying to get after balls. So I think Kansas City should rightfully be scared as well, and just don't walk into this thinking that, this game is going to be a cakewalk. We're going to beat them, because the Browns proved or showed that they could hang with them. They just couldn't carry it home defensively, because if you had somewhat a mediocre defense, you're winning that game.
Yeah, I think you got, like you said, a lot of guys are going to be really hungry this year. I mean, we have a lot to prove, because there's a lot of people that still, despite, the success we had last season, there's a lot of people that are still out there that are saying, oh, like, same old Browns, or like they won't be able to get it done. Which, I mean, Baker's always going to have that chip on his shoulder, just because, like, he posted something the other day, just like still the same old walk-on that like was undersized and all that. Like, he's always going to have a chip on his shoulder. Odell's a guy that's, you don't need to get a lot to hype him up, especially wanting to come back this year and, prove that he's still that guy to people. Because, I mean, he still is just he's one of the top receivers in the league when healthy. I mean, he's unreal. So, and the defense, playing defense, like, is when you hear a lot of people saying, like, how bad you've been all season and, like, oh, like, this might be the reason why. Like, because say we had better defense last year. We definitely could – a lot of the outcomes of last year's games, like, could have been a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are a lot of guys that are tired of hearing, like, oh, like, the Browns defense is what's holding them back, or, like, they're so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going to come out and be hungry and have a chip on their shoulder too. And I just think as long as everyone is locked in and just can, maintain that focus throughout the season, I really think we'll be fine.
Yeah, but one of the keys is Denzel Ward staying healthy.
Yeah. I think a lot of the secondary, just in general, Denzel, the Warden, he's awesome. Like, just
y'all
watching
call
him.
him the Warden.
Yeah, that's such a sick name. Like the Warden. I mean, that's so cool.
I didn't know they called him that.
That's the coolest. I think that he's got to have the best lockdown name of any corner, at least right now. I don't know.
That's a good name.
Like, there's nobody that has like an island since like Reva's Island.
Yeah.
So I think the Warden is pretty dope. But yeah, I mean, as long as he can stay healthy. Greedy, I don't really know what's gonna happen with him, but hopefully Greg Newsome, will stay healthy, and then the guys we just traded for. Because I feel like that's really been one of the things we've been lacking. Oh, and Grant Delpit coming back as well. Because unfortunately, that's why. I mean, watching Sendejo out there last season.
We had so much fun talking about him. It was just awful, man. We was like, his family probably don't even talk to him because he's so sorry.
And that's so tough because of what we talked about earlier. But like,
he had like one play all season.
Yeah,
and I think he was incorrectly in the wrong place.
He had and
that was the play.
He definitely had a lot of moments last season that were just like, did that just happen? I mean,
there were a lot of WTH moments.
Yeah, yes.
And people trying to understand what was going on, because the buck stopped with Anderson Sendejo, and all you heard was his name called every time.
Yeah.
And normally it was a large yardage situation.
Oh, always a huge play.
He could not cover to save his life.
So, I mean, luckily, hopefully, we don't have to deal with anything like that this year. Everybody can just stay healthy. Troy Hill, John Johnson, just all those guys. Very excited about secondary right now, though. And Davian Clowney. We didn't even talk about him.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, he has to make sure he stays healthy, too.
Yeah.
So you need people to stay healthy. You need Odell to stay healthy to be effective and, push that team past the next level. So, like you said, Greedy Williams, with that pinched nerve, Grant Delpit, not being able to show what he is able to do. And Denzel Ward, we need them to stay healthy on defense. So that's going to be a critical thing, because as our defense goes, they go. Because I wouldn't dare want Anderson Sendejo to have to be called back because they don't have nobody on this roster.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this defense will be able to gel during the preseason games. We all know preseason games are worthless, but I'm kind of hoping almost that they get a little bit of extra time out there to try to, bring it together.
Yeah.
Chris was looking at me like I'm crazy.
Hopefully we'll be able to gel together. I think we'll be all right.
I know that they're going to play the downs that they play, but I want them out there a little bit longer just to play together, just a little bit more and get it ready. You talking or what? I know you want to say something. I can see those eyes. Go ahead. I can hear you fine. Yes, sir.
You think preseason games be something? That's fair. Actually, I do agree with that. As an athlete, like scrimmages are, like playing basketball, you need at least like 2 or 3.
That's what I'm saying. I want them to have a little bit more time together and play a couple more extra downs together.
I feel like we're all on the same page then.
It's worthless as a fan.
As a fan, probably, because you just want to see the season.
But I'm not supposed to be watching this as a fan. I'm supposed to watch this as an analyst. But it's just, when you don't have the team play, they only play one series. You talking about the game? Yeah.
Well, they also like in college, they usually have like a tune-up week though too. So like week 1 will always be like say like Ohio. Well, I mean, I guess you can't say that this year. Yeah, they used to like in like old video games like NCAA, which hopefully not old. Hopefully they come back. They are coming back. Yes, that's a great thing. Shout out to EA for that because that's awesome. Oh yeah, no. So I see my PS4 recently just broke, so I'm just wait until they come out with NCAA. Oh, instant buy. Instant buy. That's a no question.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it's the greatest video game of all time. No question. You can do everything that you want to do, like as a coach or as like. What more could you want
in a video game?
Oh yeah, I mean next gen stuff is like crazy. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's gonna be crazy. Oh wow. I'm excited now. I'm way more excited. I forgot about the internet. I had no idea what we're talking about right now.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. No, I was just thinking, okay, maybe he's got a point there. Chris is always right. I was just thinking about the NIL that y'all was talking about though in the video game. So that does sound like that's gonna be dope. But y'all know I ain't a video game player, but we are gonna have to take a break really quickly. We're gonna talk some more football when we come back. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
We got excited there. I'm not gonna lie. That was cool.
Huh?
Sorry we were a little over.
Oh, I don't care. You're fine.
We were excited about that.
Yeah, fine.
No, NCAA is actually the greatest video game ever
though. I just don't be having time to play video games.
That's fair.
I wish I did, but I don't. I don't even own the system.
See, so not like I said, now mine's broken. I'm just gonna wait till I'm so serious.
How much is the next system gonna cost?
Oh. Well, it's expensive. Anyway.
What is it? PS what?
PS5. If you were to buy a PS5 now, because most stores don't even have any stock.
Yeah.
So like
that was what came out over the holiday. Okay.
They just sell them all online for like at least $800-900. Like, you can find some for like $7 something, like on a lot of like the resale sites and stuff like that. Like there's one shoe site like StockX, like they sell it for like $750.
So when they making some more to come back out?
Because PlayStation and Xbox are just like.
What's the Nintendo thing?
Oh, I don't even know. I think they have Nintendo has like the Switch now, but I don't think you really play like sports games on that.
Oh, so you said it's Xbox and what else?
And PlayStation.
That's what people play.
That's
Sony. So Sony always been in the game. So who made Xbox?
Microsoft.
Oh, which one is better?
Oh, I'm a PlayStation kid.
Okay.
I did have the Xbox 360 because that was like there's a thing on Twitter about this too. Like the perfect transition from video games was you start with the Wii, then you go to the PlayStation 2, then the Xbox 360, and then after the PS4, you just stick with PlayStation. Like that's it. You can't go back to Xbox after that. So that's what I did. I guess if you think about it that way.
Okay.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady.
All right. During the commercial break, I was getting a little bit of guidance about video games and video game systems because I know nothing about them, and I have a Atari that has about 30 built-in games into it, and I just plug it. And I haven't even plugged it in my new TVs, but that's how I'm supposed to be able to play. You ever heard of a game called Pitfall?
Can't say I have.
That was a great game in the 80s and 90s in which, it was a guy like on an adventure and you have to swing on the vines to get across like, fire and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm not a video game player and sounds like it's a very expensive habit. So you got to have some money to play some video games.
Yeah,
you got to be rich.
Yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I don't have a PS5 right now. So a lot of money.
Rich, but talking about a video game, they need to just make some more. Was that just like a limited edition release, or
I don't even know the PS5 and like I guess the new Xbox too, but yeah, it'll eventually.
Why ain't it time? Y'all want one?
They're building the hype. You got to build the hype up
to just make some more of what you already put
out.
They
also know that like they're going to sell them regardless, so you can basically like they have all the power. They can hold them as long as they want.
That sounds like poppycock.
It's pretty messed up, but I mean, it's a smart business move, though.
Yeah, because it got y'all fiending, talking about, I want this game.
I don't know about fiending. Yeah.
When that come out?
Yeah, I still have my Xbox 360. That's what I've been using. Oh, the Xbox One? I think that's the one. So I have the 360, and it's like I have NCAA 14 on the 360. Yeah. Right.
You gotta buy a system for each game?
No, not for each game. Like, yeah, like that was the last system that the game came out on.
Why they do that to y'all?
Because they can. Like,
dang, 7 years.
It's messed up. Yeah.
Oh well,
it's hard out here.
Yeah, y'all get over it. But while we're on the subject, before we get to you know what? Because it's 6:52. Oh, so really quickly, we talked a little bit about Browns. I wanted to ask you, what in teams with this OU Texas thing moving to the SEC, which I'm really not a fan of. We talked about it yesterday. But as an Ohio State Buckeye, who would you want to see come to the Big Ten?
Anyone competitive. Just because I'm so tired of people saying that the Big Ten is soft. Like, just because we beat up on Michigan and Michigan State and Wisconsin every year, like we shouldn't be penalized for that. It's like Simone Biles. Like, just because we're that good, we shouldn't have to. So I'd love to see like Notre Dame. I would love to whoop on Notre Dame every year. That'd be awesome.
Well, they've invited Notre Dame numerous times. I think Notre Dame was very close to accepting a invitation, but for whatever reason, they decided to go to the ACC.
Yeah.
So
football. Yeah, I think football is still independent, right?
Yeah. Why?
Oh, they do with like NBC, right? Because all their games are on NBC. But with that said, though, like Texas had Longhorn Network, but they're with SEC now.
Yeah.
Okay,
they got their network.
That's fair. I guess NBC is
and
like
that
kind
deal,
of a big deal.
they just re-upped, and they just re-upped on that deal for another 10 years. So,
right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. So I guess, I mean, well, you take away like Notre Dame, I don't know, somebody from the Pac-12. Pac-12 is like not even a good conference really anymore. Like,
well, they want the schools to touch Big Ten schools. Well, states that the Big Ten schools are in.
So from no, I don't think they're going to want to leave the SEC though. Probably. Yeah.
Ohio State
Like
struggled against
if you're
Indiana this
Kentucky?
year.
Oh yeah. Well, Indiana's a good
Michael
program.
Penix,
Yeah.
they struggled. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll give us like a nice scare, but it's they know who the top dog is. Bigger school. Maybe, and I wouldn't be opposed to Iowa State. I was going to say, even though they weren't great last year, but I think, like, historically they've been pretty good, is like West Virginia. They're a Big 12 school.
Why?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to come with us?
Oh, yeah. They in the Big 12, though? Or
Big East?
in the Big 12, yeah. Oh, but if they move to the ACC, yeah. Well, that'd be a great basketball conference. That'd be a great basketball conference.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Just anybody that can at least compete coming into the conference is good. Somebody that like just another top dog, because right now, I mean, there's nobody else that's really. I mean, obviously Indiana had a great year, and I mean Wisconsin is like good every year, but they kind of fall apart. Yeah, I mean,
Michael Penix was balling that
no,
game.
he just tore his ACL. It's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back this year because he just tore his ACL.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too.
I guess Northwestern too. I guess, but like, is Northwestern always? Yeah. Like it's like a tough. They're a tough school. Yeah.
Pulling Kentucky in or West Virginia. That's very interesting.
I mean, yeah, unless we just made, but that's really, I mean, no one would agree to that. Like the super conference, like, yeah.
But everybody can't be in the SEC.
But everybody is in the SEC though. Yeah, they're. I hate to say it too.
Well, what are we gonna do?
But honestly, I really, with the way that the current college football program is set up, like I'm not hating because we're guaranteed to be a top 3 seed every year.
Yeah,
so
we still make it to this.
Yeah. Yeah, no. We shouldn't leave the Big Ten. Like, people should have to come to us.
No. Every year?
Not every year. Well, I'd do that every year, but in the national championship though. When we know we'll make it to the national championship.
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah. I wouldn't want to see Nick Saban every year.
Yeah, Ohio State. But maybe it'll be Sickler, even though this has been a long cycle that Alabama's been on. Maybe they will have some down years or something.
I just think until like recruiting changes, and I guess that's a part of like getting another school where we're gonna need like the recruiting pool to be bigger for I guess other schools. Like we're just gonna dominate. It's gonna be the same old teams every year, which I'm not mad about for right now. But it would be nice to have this was competition. Yeah. 12 teams?
Yeah.
I think 12 teams is
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh. Right. Yeah. Oh, I agree with the 12-team playoff.
Yeah,
though, too.
it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming, and more games are coming too, and that's a great point as well. It's gonna be more like a professional type environment in the deal. You already got the name, image, and likeness. Well, Caleb, I just want to thank you so much for coming in today. I hope you had a good time.
Yes,
Talk
always.
with me. You got an open invite. Buckeyes always have an open invitation here. Chris is a guy over there, but it's all good. So you've been look. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Everything.
You've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We are out of here. Yeah, man, he be rooting for Michigan.
Oh, God.